of the Onslaught 2 and taking home their share of that $5,000 prize pool. But with that said, in the bracket stages we are at the start of this week, we begin with them in the round of 4. Advancing on, we still have 4 teams, but currently we got our first losers bracket matchup now to kick things off on the weekend coming at you. With that said, our losers bracket matchup consists of Complexity Gaming versus the Mystery Gang. Complexity losing to Reason Gaming. Mystery Gang running into Sync Esports in the first round, getting taken out by them. So both of these teams, just simply put, trying to stay alive here in the brackets, as well as, take home a bigger chunk of that prize pool. So obviously a bit is on the line here, and looking forward to a pretty solid matchup. At least kick it off, and then following this matchup will be Sync Esports versus Reason Gaming, who are in the winner bracket finals later on today. But excited to be here, excited to get it kicked off finally, and here we go. The co-caster for today, before we get too much into it, I'm going to be joined by Snooey here. Snooey, how's it going?
Hey, Breaking. Doing good. Actually, had a really interesting mid-wars in-house just now that got me into the right mood. So, with that said, yeah, excited for today's game. Fortunately, though, there are ringers. Actually, there are ringers on both sides, so maybe it evens out. But, yeah, 2 ringers on the Legion side, EU Bro and Fizz Maestro, and then we got Ragros filling in for Fastislav onto the Hellborn side. So, Legion team at least, I know that they were scrimming Reason Gaming twice this afternoon, so hopefully they got the communication going and all.
Yeah, exactly. It's obviously it happens. You're on the weekend. Perhaps the players just simply had other plans. That whole real life getting in the way. But at least able to find those ringers and obviously play the match. With that said, that's the good news here. So, but yeah, definitely still expecting a pretty good matchup, as you put it. We did see Fizz Maestro play for Mystery Gang already a couple of matches, and actually did pretty well. In fact, I want to say he played with him against Sync Esports, if I'm not mistaken. So, did pretty solid ultimately, obviously in a losing effort, but EU Bro, the other ringers you mentioned, so we'll see how he does. And Ragros, I think we have seen him before as well for Complexity Ring once or twice in recent history. Anyways, we got a draft to talk about, so let's get into the important stuff here now, as far as that's concerned. So the bans initially, Behemoth, Midas, Warbeast, and Ravener taken out here. So a little bit of respect coming out there. We got the first pick, Aluna, coming out. What are we, in 2011 or something? Holy crap, Aluna coming out. Aluna and a Moira, Moraxis and a Magmus, Cthulhu Font and a Swiftblade are the all picks. But yeah, I mean, that first pick, Aluna, that has to be the standout here.
Yeah, it doesn't make too much sense. She has been buffed, yes. She can now use that stun of her already in level 6, I think, to get 5-second stuns out. But not entirely sure why you would choose to first pick her. Maybe it's just because you don't want to reveal too much of your draft. So you're just like, yeah, we're just going to adjust to whoever you are drafting. But yeah, Complexity takes Moira. In my opinion, that is the stronger support of the two. But maybe they have a plan. Looks like they're going to go a little bit offensive. That's my take, at least, when you draft Cthulhu when there is no Parasite on the other team.
Yeah, I guess, well, that, and also with the Aluna, I mean, could you say that she's actually pretty good in tri-lane? So if you are going for that, maybe there's the value there?
Yeah, I would definitely say that's the idea here, that they are going to go for it at least. I mean, that power throw of hers is really strong. You only need level 3. You can even do it in level 1, of course. It deals quite a lot of damage, and it's usually good versus other support heroes, like in 1-versus-1 situations. Let's see, they have a Shipper and they have a Moraxis though. Moraxis is definitely not going to be the tri-lane choice. So I think it's leaning more and more actually to our dual mid instead.
Yeah.
With Moraxis and Aluna. And then have, wait, where do I have the Shipper in that case?
A short lane Shipper? Is that going to be a thing? I mean, we have seen him a couple times before, but yeah, I don't know. You're right. This really is shaping up. Or maybe they could do something like even a suicide, or like an aggressive lane with the Moraxis, have Chipper middle, Cthulhu jungle, and still get a. I don't know. But
yeah, I've seen Moraxis suicide a little bit in TMM at least. It's actually quite popular nowadays. But like in tri lanes, I mean, it doesn't have that solid or like lead stun. So you're not going to be able to catch anyone, especially if you're up versus a Swiftblade. It's going to be near impossible to actually get a kill on him. So I'm still a little bit curious, or not entirely sure at least, how this is going to play out. I know the Druids, or Probusk in specific, likes to run the solo Shipper in the safe lane, and he's actually been quite successful with it. But I haven't seen Cannondorf play it before, so it would have to be a first in that case.
yeah. Would indeed be. He tends to be their carry player, so yeah, we'll see. We'll see what the final pick is. Obviously, it'll give us a little bit more information at least to work with, and see if it makes it more obvious. But 8 seconds remaining here for Complexity. They finally end up with Fade. Fade is making a strong comeback on the competitive scene, both as a secondary support, also as a go-to mid hero. In this case, I don't know. I assume mid, but I don't know actually. Maybe secondary
Yeah,
support.
it's been what you got that actually been playing the Fade quite a bit lately for Complexity, so wouldn't be too surprised if it actually ends up in the secondary support role either. But I mean, I guess that's the good thing with that hero. I mean, you never know for sure until the laning phase actually shapes up, or all 5 heroes are drafted.
Well, now the
Yeah,
final pick. Here we go.
see, they have to get something for the late game. I feel because otherwise they're just gonna go all in onto some kind of YOLO playstyle. I mean,
Yeah.
I know that is the trend at times when you use ringers and you just feel desperate and want to end the game fast, but I really don't think it's the biggest deal in the world to actually have 2 ringers. I mean, as long as the communication is working out, I mean, it should still be possible to play it into that late game. They're gonna go to Drunken Master, so yeah, it has to be a shipper in the safe lane now.
Okay. So we're assuming drunken suicide then. Chipper
Or
Shore.
Drunken Tri-lane even, or a pseudo Tri-lane. I don't know. I think the
Yeah.
Drunken Master is like the strongest Tri-lane hero more or less in the game. Like, I
Really?
mean, I just feel like he's so freaking good if you have 2 strong supports with you. I mean, I know that most teams, like, when they draft Drunken Master, it doesn't happen too often, but then they usually go for it in, like, the suicide role. But I just don't feel like it fits in the suicide role because it needs items. Like, if you get a fast bulwark and a shield breaker or anything like that on the hero, then you're just going to be so deadly. And also, I feel like his spells are just better suited for, like, offensive playstyle than defensive playstyle. So I think that you should just, like, you just jump in with that stagger, with that launch. Like, that's pretty much all you need. Or, like, if Swiftfoot goes for a single creep kill, Drunken Master can stagger in and launch him. And
Yeah.
then if 2 supports, for example, follow it up, it's more or less a kill.
Yeah, no, he is very good against Swiftplay. That's definitely a good point to bring up right here, and obviously that's something that Complexity is going to be banking on in terms of their success. So it does end up in the hands of Cannondorf. He is their carry player. So again, the idea of maybe the aggressive trialing is getting a pseudo trialing even with the Aluna Drunken Master, and then having Cthulhu up there in the aggressive jungle wouldn't be out of the question, but then we'll see how Complexity matches up against that with this set if that is the case. So yeah, definitely some mind games here in the laning phase.
That there are, and usually when you want to go for the pseudo Trillion as well, offensive one, then you need to secure like the vision in the enemy forest from the start. Because if the Hellborn team gets wards up on the hard camp to the left and Cthulhu doesn't get a creep or a camp to work with, then he's going to be forced to rotate all the way over to the Hellborn eastern side of the forest, and that's more or less going to result in a dead or in a death or a very dangerous situation. So Legion team, it's definitely going to be a clash up here at level 1. I would expect at least.
Yeah. You see already the Legion side Mystery Gang heading up towards the top lane and going to scout out some information at least. So, but yeah, guys, again, this is the Onslaught 2 coverage coming at you, and this is we're going to, by the end of the weekend, in fact, pulling up the brackets right here while we are on the pause, give an idea once again of what we're looking at here. Obviously, those 2 matches being played on Tuesday and Thursday initially, so that's kind of shaping up how it is now. Mystery Gang versus Complexity. The one we're doing again later on today will be Sync Esports versus Reason, but then tomorrow will be the losers bracket finals, followed by, of course, the grand finals. And from my understanding, it's actually just all straight up best of 3. There actually is no advantages even in the grand final, so that's something a little bit new that is going on here for the Han competitive scene at least. So we'll see how that maybe affects some things as well. But also, again, guys, Han Tour Season 4 officially announced, and not all the information announced just yet, but kind of the tease for it. But definitely expect more information on that, perhaps later this week, even coming up into next weekend. I'll just say that. So definitely some big plans coming
later
up.
this week, even?
Later this week, into the weekend, maybe. I don't know for certain, but it's coming up here. It's coming up. The qualifiers are supposed to be starting here soon, so.
Yeah, 1st of August, 2 weeks from now, I think.
Yeah, when do the qualifiers start? Qualifiers begin August 1st. Yeah, so still a little bit more time to sign up here if you haven't yet, guys. chance to play in this great event here. So, anyways, all right. So back to this game. There we go.
It
right
seems
on
like
cue.
the teams are ready as well.
There you go. Yeah, Mystery Gang. This is one of these teams. Again, using a couple ringers today, but definitely one of these fun teams going into a new season that is gaining a lot of interest, to say the least, in terms of spectator point of view and gaining some fans here as far as their play style is concerned. So, and deservingly so.
Yeah, usually tend to lean versus that a little bit more of an offensive playstyle as well. So, very enjoyable to watch from a spectator point of view.
Yeah. They split the series against Complexity in the group stages, by the way. Obviously, every team playing in one another, so they each took a game off of each other. So, again, a little bit different with the rosters, but still, that stands. All right. They're going a little bit interesting of a path here as Mystery Gang, cutting through the top rune area.
Yeah, I like the choice of them. Nice by Ragros though, positioning himself into this position here, and he's actually going to scout them. But yeah, Myst definitely doesn't have the upper hand when it comes to Clash 1 versus 1, or in level 1 here versus the Hellborn team. Fade AoE stun, Magnus AoE stun, Moira of course stuns numbers of targets, and then Swiftblade spin on top of that. I do not think the leading team can face that straight on, but Luna is in a little bit of a... she's going to be fine.
Yeah. Had the tree eater and is able to go right on through, so that was looking scary there for a second, but...
Alright, so what was the plan with going into the enemy forest? Was it just to try to get a first block kill? Because they did not ward up a single camp.
You're right. Maybe some kind of information also caused them to not choose to do that, but yeah, I don't. They're even going up here, so yeah. You see, Aluna, she does have a ward of sight on her still. They placed one for the middle lane here.
And actually, Babu Ganush already placed a ward of sight up here as well. So does he have another one? I guess they can body block the hard camp, but yeah, I mean, Cthulhu getting a creep here at the first 30 seconds is going to be crucial. They need to body block this. I really hope that Moira is going to body block it. Like, guys, Complexity, what are you doing?
Yeah, it does seem pretty obvious, too, that they were going to be going aggressive right here. I mean, you see Complexity was definitely expecting it. In fact, they want to clash, though. And here we go. Spin's going to do some good damage right here. Fade stuns all 3. Cthulhu tramples away, but Aluna's going to end up falling. So, not focusing on blocking the camp. That's because they're focusing on getting some kills, apparently. Moira will survive in the end. Down goes Morax to say 2-0. And Cthulhu, he's going to be boxed out right here. He wanted to get a good trample off. He finally does to get away. Are they going to pursue this? Swiftblade spinning 10 seconds. No way to follow him. But well,
oh, Moira almost died.
Oh, yeah, that would have been embarrassing. Well, 2-0 start, though, for Complexity.
Yeah, and that means so much more than just score on the board as well, because no Cthulhu, he took the trample ability. So where is he going to go now up until level 2? I mean, his farm is just going to be so slowed down. He's going to have to go over here to the easy camp and start auto-attacking these creeps, and that's definitely not the position that you want to be in this early on into the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does seem like we see that from time to time. He's one of those junglers where it's like, you know, when you go for those level 1 initiations, he does have a pretty strong stun with that trample, so it's understandable why we see them get it, level it up, and definitely does set up kills, but yeah, especially when it backfires and it doesn't actually get you a kill, it's when it really hurts, as you're talking about. He's just right-clicking a yellow camp right here, and these are brutal camps, the healers to try to stack. He is going to be able to do it successfully at least, but not a friendly start. Here's what it continues to come down to.
And this just hits me as well. Meraxus went for Arcane Shield at level 1. He didn't have the Quake Stun.
Oh, wow.
In that flash up there. I mean,
right.
That would have been the difference at least. That would have at least gotten the kill on Moira if he had it.
That's true. Why would he do that? I guess with Moira, he figured maybe that would have been for the better to... But yeah, with not having the stun, I don't think you can... There's a legit argument to get that over the stun.
Not when you're going for an offensive tri lane, especially in that situation. Like, why would you skill it up? Maybe it was a misclick. It's really unfortunate if it was. Like, it has almost had to be a misclick. But now, like, look at Moira. His positioning. He's gonna rotate over to the mid. He's gonna just sit here and dual lane the Magnus instead, because why not? He already got a fade up here, and he's already outboxing the Meraxus on himself.
Aluna, haste rune picked up, so good rune control coming out right there with Magnus. Magnus level 4, Aluna level 1. So Aluna's going to be fine for the time being, but does need to be careful at the same time. You do see Moira running over it. We see that haste rune all the time, thinking they're invulnerable, but they're really not. Morax at the top lane, by the way. he has that Arcane Shield, but obviously that's going to do nothing against these guys. Yeah, and that's the other argument, too, is that, I mean, sure, against Moira it's good, but Fade and Swiftblade, it doesn't do a whole lot yet.
And he still doesn't have the Quake Stun. Now he's going to get it, but he didn't even have it there to get rid of the Fade. He actually went for the Axe instead to try to get some last hits. Read the option if you're actually on the suicide lane.
Brutal start, brutal start. Well, let's take a look at the other lanes, though, before we go too much into how this is a poor start here for Mystery Gang. But you do see Chipper middle lane. It seems like he's doing pretty well, 19-4. Compared to a 16-1 Magnus, you know, a pretty favorable matchup for him, you would think, so understandable. Rotating over from Moira, though, so obviously that's changed it up a little bit now in terms of his power here. But Drunken Master is also doing very well at the bottom lane. 26-6 versus an 8-1 Madman currently. So yeah, he is dominating the bottom lane at least for this Hellborn team, or Legion team, excuse me. Middle lane, by the way, Moira coming in with the illusion. Fade running in with an invis. They choose to go for Chipper, though, or Fade does at least, and that's not going to work. So you got a little, wow, that burst, man.
Yeah, nice harassment by Gisman playing the Shipper. Like the rotations, of course, as well from Fade running in there. They should definitely just keep the pressure up as much as possible now when Magnus gets his level 5. There's not too much Aluna can do. I mean, she's still level 1 here, so she doesn't even have that stun. If they were to just lock down the Shipper with 3 stuns, they should be able to get a kill. I think Fade is going to rotate back in. She got the Veiled Rot. No, she's going to head towards the top instead. I feel like this is a really good opportunity otherwise to get a kill onto Shipper. I mean, Magnus got 2 bottle charges as well, so he can just regen up. But yeah, Fade's gonna choose to actually rotate back to his own lane and start pulling.
Yeah, no, that was definitely a good chance right there. Obviously, Chipper had no clue that they would have seen him, but in the end, oh, bottom lane. Madman caught the last second of that, but Drunken Master manages to do enough damage. Yeah, he's been dominating this bottom matchup. Did he have Dust or anything, or was that just simply, no, he doesn't. It just simply chases down Madman and gets a kill. Middle lane in the meantime, Chainsaws are out. Chipper trying to survive. He actually, the Chainsaw does end up finishing Baba Ganoush right there.
Oh, but I think that he was standing in the ultimate. Yeah,
he
while
didn't
he was
even
controlling
realize.
his illusion.
Okay, that's why. Yeah, so he was controlling. I guess that's one of the very few downsides of Moira. If you're not paying attention to your actual hero, you can be in trouble. But
I didn't see how that played out, but that must have been real smart by Gisman, because of course you cannot use it rockets on the real Moira, because in that case that's going to interrupt the illusion. But only putting down the Soul Blade maybe to even try to bait that out. So well played by Gisman, definitely. And it looks like the solo laners actually are doing really well for a Myst side here.
yeah, this does seem like a very comfortable hero for him as well. You know, again, he's a great Midas player, we know. It's more the big, heavy magical damage burst from a range even, perhaps, is his style, and obviously Chipper fits that very well. Madman, he actually stalks away. The dust was used to hit him, but he was a little bit too far right there. But yeah, how about Drunken Master, though? He kind of quietly been doing his thing, but 420 gold per minute now here at the bottom lane, was including that kill on Madman. What kind of style of build would you like to see on him? I mean, a short lane Drunken Master free farming is not something we see often.
Nope, that's safe to say. Usually, yeah, in that suicide option. I'm not entirely sure what I would like him to see. I think that the Bulwark into something like a Shield Breaker or something would be preferred here. He is up versus a lot of melee heroes, so that physical damage is definitely going to be a go-to.
Yeah.
And the top lane Moraxis is in a lot of trouble.
Oh, the Arcane Shield. Man, if he clicked that, obviously he was stunned, but if he got that off a half second earlier, that could have been something. Chipper in the meantime, though, middle lane, he's going to be fine. And actually turning some damage on them, nobody dying in the end, but the fact that Chipper lived right there, pretty big news. As Aluna also coming in to help, so yeah, caught the tail end of that, but at least he stays alive. That's the good news, going to regen. But yeah, if he was able to Arcane Shield right before the Soul Slashes, that could have been great for Moraxis, but unfortunately.
Could have been. Yeah, I still think that it would have ended up dropping, actually. I mean, there was a Swift play with Ghost Marchers and a level 4 spin, so Moraxis not being level 6, I don't think it would have been the biggest thing. But
yeah.
We'll see. Down here at the bot lane, by the way, Drunken Master's already pushed his tower down to 45% health or anything like that. If they get a fast kill on that, that's going to secure Marchers for Aluna. Actually, Aluna is stuck on 50 gold, so maybe not, but...
Hopefully something like that in the near future. How about Swiftblade, though, man? I mean, I was even talking about Drunken Master, how great he was doing, but man, Swiftblade's even on another level here. Nearly 500 gold per minute. And it looks like he's going Rune Cleaver here. He has a Sustainer picked up, so Formless, a free farming Swiftblade is definitely coming out here. And this is something that they have done every now and then. They prefer to kind of run Swiftblade in more of the carry role, as they're doing here, so.
That they do. It definitely suits very well, especially if you see like an offensive kind of playstyle coming out from the enemy team during the draft in those first free picks. Then I think that having Swiftblade as that carry and what's going on in the bot lane, Madman is gonna make it out. Oh my gosh.
And the Cthulhu Font goes down, so that gank kind of fails right there at the bottom lane. That's not good news because he just gave a little bit more farm to Madman, who's been struggling and obviously dying in the process. Cthulhu Font not doing too well, and that trend will continue, unfortunately. So yeah, not the most positive news right now for Mystery Gang. I will say though, one big positive is that they have a Drunken Master doing great farm against a Swiftblade, and as you're kind of talking about yourself at the draft too, is Drunken's great against Swiftblade because he's obviously not caring about the spin and whatnot. So that's where I think Mystery Gang is still okay here, at least.
If he gets untouchable off, then Swiftblade is not going to be able to ultimate him either. So.
Yeah.
He's going to need a lot of team support though, and so far it's only the shipper that's going to be able to provide anything. Meraxus, I'm not entirely sure if he's going to go for that kind of naked Polky style. He got 800 gold saved up, so I almost feel like he should just ignore the Steam Boots and try to get a fast Polky so that his team gets some kind of initiation. Of course, early Polkies are great with shipper because of that long-range nuke that you have available. Hellborn team though, Oscar here in the middle, and he is going to go for the Steam Boots. He's not going to go for a naked Polky, and that I definitely agree with. But he's still got a long way up until his Polky, so I think that the Legion team, even if they are struggling a lot in the laning phase, they should be able to farm up and get some levels here on their heroes before the fights really start to take place.
Yeah. Oh, Myst, the eruption machine is running right into Meraxus. Beautiful timing from Oscar right there. And Bobigan actually comes in and gets credit for the kill even, but they got the kill. Fizzmaestro, he had no clue, man. There's no vision over here. He had no reason to believe Magnus was hiding, and that was just well played. Very smart decision by Oscar, again, using the ward sight that he had to know that Meraxus was running the uphill right there. So very good execution. By the way, the item choice for Drunken Master is going to be that Insanitarius. You know, definitely tends to be a little bit more of that carry style of build. Madman, by the way, is going to fall once again at Ganondorf. So there you go. Some nice little extra benefit there on top of buying the Insanitarius. Just being delivered, so well played.
How did you see that it was an Insanitarius? Did he buy the recipe in the stash?
He bought the full thing. Is it on the courier? No. I saw him right-click in Insanitarius, so
okay. Maybe
it was just the recipe for now. And he's just going to get the rest of it. But, yeah, I'm pretty sure he didn't sell it after, so.
Because, I mean, in Sanitarius, that's almost 3,000 gold.
You're right. Yeah, now that I think about it.
I mean, he can. I guess he could have it. But it's then his farm is going to have to be better than Swiftblade's even.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Maybe he doesn't have it just yet. But, yeah, the fact that he wouldn't even have the Helm of the Victim yet, at least, is, well, there you go. There's a Steam staff even. So he actually did buy it. And I think it just actually completed, so his farm is pretty good. Back to base right now.
Yeah, it's definitely going to add a little bit more of a tank presence. What?
Top lane, Swiftblade, he almost dies. He needs to dodge another rocket. Oh, Justman, good attempt. You know what? Justman thought he had it. He turned around after the rocket. Maybe he did see this pressure coming, though, and now he is in a lot of trouble. Meanwhile, Forgotten One getting picked off on that Aluna. In the process, Chipper, the Rockets are not going to hit, and Justman will go down. A great attempt, but better plays coming out from Formless right there. Drunken Master, though, he is in. The Insanitarius picked up more with a nice stop. I don't know if that's going to do a whole lot, though, in the end.
Magnus is coming in, though.
Wow. Fade's going to be fine. That speed burst out of the Arcane Vortex is pretty big. Magnus is running in as you're talking about, and actually he's not going to care to go on a Drunken, figuring he's a little too strong. So, man, nobody dying for complexity there. That's pretty huge, actually.
There it is, and they're going to get a Word of Sight here on top of things. Meraxus is in a really, I feel like they could have just gone for him.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they didn't know if he actually had backup behind him, but they could have gone for a kill there.
Yeah. A little greedy right there, but Fizzmaestro, it does work out for him. I was going to talk about, oh yeah, so, you know, that's actually something for an ability that we've seen so much now with the Arcane Vortex from Moira being so popular. That's not something I really thought about too much, though. One of the many things it does is that when the allies come out of it, they actually get a speed buff. And you kind of noticed that right there with Fade. He was actually to really outrun Drunken Master, and it slows the enemies, doesn't it? I think it,
Yeah, it does, yeah, it
and
does.
in movement. That's ridiculous, man. This ability is insane. Anyways, so yeah, Drunken was like really slow, and Fade was just running away really quickly. So that was a great escape.
Yeah, you're
right
not
there.
going to be able to get any auto attacks off, at least after that Vortex ends. It's going to be all about spells. So yeah, a little bit... oh wait, Magnus in the mid lane, he's going to be collapsed on.
Yeah, that was a good execution. Oh my, all 5 are here. They better get the kill.
And he's like, oh yes, I got away, and then 2 people more arrive from the left.
In Skype right now, he's like, okay, there's 5 mid guys, do something. So they are counter pushing, so that's the good news. And it looks like it's going to be a tower for a tower. Middle tower and the top tower also going to fall. Right there, so yeah, not the worst exchange ever for Complexity, but still an advantage for Mystery Gang there.
Yeah, definitely.
A hero kill. Ooh, portal key on Fade already. Gets it before Magnus even.
No? Gets a portal key already? Wow, what you got? Stepping up the farm. I did not see that coming. I didn't see him having that for quite some time, but okay. I'm not entirely sure if I like it that much. I guess it's okay. He's gonna get it sooner or later, but usually when you have this great of a farm as secondary support, you might want to go for something a little bit more greedy, even like something that can actually maybe aid you in farming, or maybe even go for that Codex ability or that Codex item.
Yeah, that's an old school build on Fade. Remember seeing that. Yeah, Codex an item, you know, Parasite, Fade, when we did see her a lot, that actually used to be a pretty popular item. Not so much anymore, though. Even with all the Parasites and now Fade coming back, it's kind of died off as a go-to choice.
Yeah, Lex Talionis as well is a great complement for that Codex. So, I mean, you could even start with that. I mean, he could have had a level 3 Lex Talionis, and in that case, he could have probably found some solo kills by now. Portal Key, he's going to go for that instead. I guess it's alright, as long as his team is there to back him up.
Yeah, Portal Key right now is more of just the true initiation. He's not going to set up solo kills with it, which it is a little give and take for sure. But he is going to open right here. Portal Key not even necessary for this one. Moraxis, he is just a little too far pushed up. Fade goes in with the invis, easily gets the kill. So good execution there from Complexity. 9-4 hero kill lead now coming at you. Madman, by the way, his farm, how is it? 230 GPM, not too bad, but it's going to get a little worse. Oh, the push! That saved Madman right there. That's unfortunate. Yeah, that lunge push.
He can't do anything else, though. I don't know if he used it too or premature, but in the end, I mean, he's gonna have to push him in some direction at least. Right. It's a downside with the ability. There's no need or no way to cancel it.
Yep. So maybe a little frustrating there for Chipper, but you are right. It's definitely not much he could have done, to be fair. So it just was gonna happen. And all the rockets missing, so Madman survives, no kill. Swiftblade was pushing top one in the meantime during that. He still kind of is. He's going to start falling back here as he gets a firebrand delivered, by the way. So look at that. I love this avatar, by the way, the ultimate Swiftblade.
Is it for firebrand alone that he get those awesome visual effects?
Well, he got the rune cleaver first, and so it makes them like big axes. And now he has the firebrand, which, yeah, gives it the big fire around it. So it's really cool. But anyways, yeah, he's scary looking, and they should be scared of him because he's pretty farmed right now.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, both of the teams are running without a jungler. They're having 2 supports instead. But I think that the Fade's presence is going to be so much more deadly than Cthulhuphant is in this game. I mean, Cthulhuphant is literally going to be able to provide nothing to his team. Usually that hero is all about snowballing in the early game and just soak up as much damage as possible. Either that or just deal with Ophelia creeps or Parasite creeps, anything like that. In a game like this where he's struggling, he doesn't have the most farm, and no forced heroes to deal with, like he's like a walking stun more or less. That's all he is.
They needed Chipper or Cthulhuphant to actually be doing pretty solid here to kind of back up the more access at least, or excuse me, the Drunken Master at least, but that's not happening. It's just Drunken Master, but yeah, both Cthulhuphant and Chipper, for that matter, are also really struggling here, considering where they need them to be especially. So, you know, Mystery Gang, a team that, as we stress, is definitely more kind of one of these high-octane, action-packed teams. A lot of fun to watch for that reason. They're running into Complexity here, who's notorious for being a little bit more of a turtle style, you know, later game. And with that said, even though Complexity's up 10-4 in hero kills, and actually has been a little more mobile than Mystery Gang, it seems like. And that could continue here. No, Fade's going to find Cthulhuphant, but obviously not much he can do himself. for that kill. But Magnus already another 1,600 gold saved up. Swiftblade, he's just farming out the Ancients like crazy right here. He's going to have another 2,000 plus. He's going to be finishing a Frostburn here.
Wouldn't be surprised if he's going to end up like 750 gold per minute or something in this game if this continues. I mean, as soon as they start getting towers as well, then his gold per minute is just going to skyrocket.
And you see bottom lane Madman. That's another thing too. Madman's kind of slowly been recovering as well. The fact that he's higher than anyone else on the Legion team other than Drunken Master is not good news. This is a Madman that actually was really struggling at the beginning of this game. And look at the jump at the bottom lane. Moraxis, no chance. That's all out onslaught onto him. Chipper gets picked off as well. No, he's going to survive a little bit longer. Now he'll fall as the Arcane Vortex pulled him in and shortly died after. Cthulhufon's able to trample away at least. And will live a second long. Oh, nice stun on the fade there.
Oh, what you got actually choosing to use his coL ability instead of the Burning Shadow first.
True.
Would have been a difference, but well, nice reaction from Aluna, of course, but still a small misplay. But yeah, Complexity continues their domination over this game, and I don't see it stopping anytime soon. I have to give a lot of love to Baba Ganoush in this game as well. His wards have really been spot on throughout the entire game. Even though the Legion team has been grouping up as 5 people constantly, they just haven't been able to get anything out of it simply because of all those wards.
Yeah. No, yeah, you look at the mini-map even, you got one ward down here, you got one near the Ancient area, obviously, yeah, this control, obviously one of the Conqueror Pit, what they're doing now, by the way, definitely Baba Ganoush is on top of it when it comes to the vision here for the team. Magnus, by the way, almost got a solo kill on Drunken Master. He was very close to getting a solo kill on him with an Eruption initiation, but Drunken barely was able to live, doing some nice toggling with the Insanitarius. And it got away right there in the end. But the fact that that's even happening, obviously, is just more bad news right now for Mystery King. But here comes that token. I'm sure Swiftblade is going to be picking it up. There we go. Drunken, he did get the Soul's Bulwark. So, again, Drunken Master actually is dealing a bit of damage right here in this game. But it's just him right now, unfortunately.
Get a shield breaker on top of that, and he's gonna like 2-shot everyone on the Hellborn's side. Yeah. But he's still gonna need a BKB before he can actually take part in those team fights.
Huh.
Oh, and look at this. What you got is actually pointing out as well that he's James Bond here.
What do you mean?
Look at the stats.
His stats? Oh, 007. Oh, got you. Yes. That makes sense. I missed that one. 0, 0, and 7. Yeah, it's been an assist-heavy game here for Fade. Who, by the way, is actually getting a tablet now, even on top of that portal key. So, nice utility will continue here. I was looking at Magnus, though, too. It actually went the Soul's Bulwark here for his Hellborn team. So, those Aura items definitely playing a role. And a very important item to have, I think, especially with the Abyssal Skull here against this Drunken Master, who, again, is, as we keep going back to, is really all their damage right now.
Yeah, look at this. I mean, the Legion team think they're being sneaky.
Yeah, they kind of are. They will catch Magnus as well as Mora. That's a double tap right there. But here comes Swiftblade as well as Fade, and even Madman joining the party. Moraxis, Matrax is up. He is going to go down, but Drunken Master finishes off Fade. Down goes Cthulhuphon. Swiftblade is still very strong. Look at the crits coming out. He nearly 2 shots. The chipper right there, and a hat trick for Formless. Drunken Master going to do what he can to kind of push him back at least.
Oh, Madman might? No, he's going to try to sneak out.
Not going to risk it.
Alright, I hate this announcer, by the way. Or I don't hate it, but just in the team fights, there's so much noise everywhere.
Hate it. No, I'm going to say it. I hate it. It's really annoying. And I think that's kind of the purpose of it, to be fair. But anyways.
Yeah, good point. Everyone in Complexity has it at least. So it's just constant spam. Those Americans.
That was interesting, though, how that was the case. Oh, actually, Swiftblade, wow, he's ballsy, man. He's still sticking. He actually gets the tower kill, and he is going to be able to run away, so that'll be that. But, yeah, I mean, that did work out for Mystery King in the beginning, at least, but then
yeah, it was. I think it was Moira. He more or less took a misstep, and he went straight into the Magnus, so that they both got stunned in the Quake stun. Otherwise, Moira could have easily just vortexed the Magnus and just turned the entire team fight around without a single casualty. But yeah, unfortunately, double Quake stun there from the Legion team, baiting a little bit too much.
Yeah, so a little bit of sign of life there for Mystery King, but not really in the end. The leads all over the board just continue right now for Complexity. That 650 GPM Swiftblade and more to come You said 750 plus. Wouldn't be surprised if it hits around that mark at this rate. And yeah, very likely could. 4,800 gold saved up on him at this time as well. Look at Fade in the background is level 11 now, so that reflection of his is that much more powerful as far as the uptime of it. 35 seconds uptime, 75-second cooldown, so 40-second downtime now. And yeah, level 3, it's ridiculous. It's only a 10-second downtime window at that level 3 mark, so. See, kind of scouting out right there. Not going to find anyone, though, with that use of it at least. But they are going to push into the secondary tower. What is Swiftly going to be by? Okay, he just got the wing bow right there. Right-clicks it.
Wow.
Not being delivered yet.
24-minute wing bow.
Yeah. I mean, so he bought a wing bow. He just spent all that gold, and they're going to get in a fight right here. This is actually pretty big. Swiftblade, he's in a little bit of trouble, dropping a Half-Life Arcane Vortex, though. The eruption in the background doing some okay damage. He got there a little bit late. Swiftblade spinning out of that Arcane Vortex now. The bot is going to fall. You see more access, though, with that Matrax up. Magnus is going to fall, but double tap for Formula still. And yeah, even though he got jumped initially, it doesn't really matter apparently. Swift Slash is going to cut through Trunk, and he gets the hat trick. He's going to get the quad kill as well as he falls to the ground, but comes right back up with the token of life. So it was a little bit, and that was all without the wing bow. And now he gets the wing bow delivered on top of it. So good luck.
Legion team, I'm surprised they're still sticking into it.
They don't give up, man. I have noticed that about Mystery Gang too. They do not give up easy. They are not afraid
I guess
to stand
that's
in there.
worth respecting.
Yeah. In some cases.
Yeah.
There are, you know, actually, when the last cuts against Sync, I do remember that, where I think it was the first game, they were down by like 30,000 gold. It was obviously over, and they were still in it. And I brought that up to Panny and Onmi, who are my co-casters for that, and they kind of agreed. It's definitely a case of, I mean, ultimately, it is the mentality of the team. And if they are kind of a team that may tilt a little bit or get frustrated, then yeah, you definitely just want to move on to the next game. But if you are not necessarily being affected too much by that, and if you're like, you know, we're still kind of having fun with it at least, and, you know, that is fine. But, yeah, I mean, this is one of those cases where clearly one team has kind of been ahead the whole game, and they have their biggest lead so far very early on still. I mean, Swiftblade's level 19 at 25 minutes in with 750 gold per minute, so that's not good.
Yeah, he's about to break it at least. 750 gold per minute mark. Yeah, at some point, like, it also gets a little bit bad-mannered almost, like, not in this series, not yet, but, I mean, in some cases, I know when, like, there's those really long, drawn-out games when one team just won't concede.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's like...
That's, to be fair, I mean, there's a reason there's a objective, ultimately, to win the game, and that's kill the shrine, so if the other team wants to force you to do that, then so be it. That's their choice, ultimately, so... Yeah, I mean, we have seen crazier, like, bigger gaps, to be fair, that still haven't been conceded. So this isn't the biggest ever, but yeah, it does feel like, obviously, that Mystery Gang is not in the
Look at Swiftblade up here. He just ran straight past Katolfant and the shipper, but for some reason, nobody did anything.
Well, what can they do, really? In fact, this is not going to be good for them either. Swiftblade could have used Swift Slashes right there, but that definitely would have been
Yeah,
overkill.
I'm pretty sure he could have. I mean, this... Formless guy, always playing so safe.
Such a safe player, but that's definitely a big part of the complexity success at the same time. You do see Chipper. Ooh, he gets away barely, but meanwhile, down here, Aluna... Nah, gonna one more auto attack. No, he couldn't get it off. Dragon Master's able to save the day, but it's just gonna continue. Mystery Gang's gonna keep playing very defensive because they have to. And that's not going to get you wins. Although, Madman, oh my god, he is going to fall. The Chainsaw's doing enough right there. By the way, Formless picks up an Immortal. That just happened.
Nice.
So.
15-0-1. He's not the guy that shares.
How many Immortals have we seen? We do not see many Immortals, to be honest. What do we got? What do we got in that, Quincy? How many times have we actually seen Immortals?
The latest one that I've seen, I think, was... when Punk Pang played Puppet Master versus Sync Esports Game 2 at DreamHack.
Okay, yeah. So wait, what did that mean, Quincy? 3 of 9? So there's been 9 total, and he has 3 of them? Is that what that stat said? 'Cause that's actually pretty big if that's the case. The fact that he has a third of the Immortals that we have on record, that should tell you something about you know, the play style, the complexity, I guess, and him as a player even. But Anyways, it is going to be official here as you see. GG well play coming out. And Complexity are victorious in the end over Mystery Gang. So that is game one here, and these are best of threes, of course. So Mystery Gang going to get a chance to fight back and force that third game. You know they definitely can. But clearly I don't know. I mean, where did they go wrong, you think, in this game here?
It was the laning phase. They first of all drafting Moraxus for an offensive tri lane is not going to be a recipe for success when you don't have that lead stun. And they had a Drunken Master, so I really feel like they could have gone with him instead and actually manned up with the Luna and Cthulhuphant, but didn't choose to do so. Instead, of ran a Drunken Master versus the Madman, which did work out, yeah. But that offensive tri lane was a little bit too greedy.